The sixth and final video in this heritage series on the Gamkaskloof Road features the full descent of the Elands Pass. The first kilometer is the easiest and consists of an almost arrow-straight descent. The Elands Pass is the final descent down into the long low-altitude valley called the Gamkaskloof, but more commonly and popularly known as Die Hel. The pass descends a total of 477 meters over a distance of 4.7 kilometers, producing a very stiff average gradient of just under 1 in 10. You'll have to deal with 5 very tight hairpin bends and 49 other bends, corners and curves of varying degrees, but it is the very steep unguarded drop-offs that tend to be unnerving for many drivers as well as their passengers. The design of the pass is actually very good, and there's no point where the gradient exceeds 1 in 7. A tight S-bend makes its appearance at the 1.2 kilometer point and is a sign for you to lower your speed immediately. This pass, although fairly short, ranks right up there with the biggest and best passes in South Africa. This is a bucket list pass and one that every adventurous traveller should try and do. On your right, some 400 meters lower down in the valley, you'll get your first full view of Die Hel. Before you jump out of your vehicle to take those award-winning photographs, switch your vehicle's engine off and leave it in first gear, making double sure that the handbrake is fully engaged. It might sound ridiculous, but many accidents have happened at view sites like this due to carelessness and over-eagerness. The road can be seen snaking its way down to the miniature-looking buildings in the valley via these multiple switchbacks. It's a breathtaking sight. There's nowhere to stop, but due to the low traffic volumes, no one will mind if you block the road for a minute or two. We recommend gearing down to first or second gear and allow your engine compression to slow your vehicle down as you begin the first switchback, which is into the south. The road is very narrow and it's generally impossible to get past another vehicle here. Make a careful mental note of the few places where there are spots just wide enough for 2 cars to pass each other. Should you encounter a vehicle ascending the pass, one of you will have to reverse back to a suitable place. It's etiquette to allow the ascending vehicle the right of way, but this is not always practical. If you're the vehicle that is reversing, be extremely careful and take your time, as one small mistake here could end in disaster. Remember that at each of the hairpin bends, the road is quite wide, and these often make for the safest places to allow passing. When you're at the first viewpoint described earlier, you'll be able to see most of the pass, and any vehicle climbing up towards you will be quite easily spotted. It takes about 15 minutes to drive the pass, so it might be prudent to sit tight at a wider section and wait for the descending vehicle to get past you safely. The further you descend on this first leg, the better the views become. This section has 12 bends along its length, but none of them are very sharp. Drivers need to concentrate 100% on the road and not allow the views to be too distracting. Bigger SUVs and double cab buckies will need to go into full lock to make it through some of the hairpin bends. Take it slowly and wide, just in case your vehicle can't make the turn, and don't take any risks and rather do a 3-point turn to safely negotiate the bends if in any doubt. The road now curves around the contour of the mountain for the next 400 meters, heading into the west-southwest. This section has 5 gentle bends, with the views remaining on the left-hand side. There are hundreds of magnificent tall aloes on both sides of the road, and if the light is just right, this makes for a wonderful photo composition. The second of the 5 hairpins makes its appearance at the 3-kilometer mark. This hairpin is concreted, so if you're in 4-wheel drive, you'll need to disengage the center diff, otherwise the vehicle will experience axle wind-up, which is not good for the differentials, but remember to re-engage it once you're through the bend. Once through the hairpin, the direction changes into the east-southeast for the next 100 meters, as the road drops down towards the 3rd hairpin. This part of the pass descends for most of its length down a long ridge which is formed by 2 kloofs. The more easterly one is formed by the stream that you crossed earlier via the concrete drift and the 3 tall chevron boards, whilst the more westerly kloof is known as Kloof. The heading now settles back into the west-southwest for the next 400 meters, descending continuously. From this point, the drop-offs gradually become less severe and the buildings in the valley start taking on a less toy-like appearance as altitude is lost. The 4th hairpin appears at the 3.6 kilometer mark and bends to the left once more. As in the previous left-handed hairpin, this takes the direction back into the east-southeast for the final time. This leg lasts for 400 meters and the road can be seen at a lower level, a sure indicator that you've almost reached the bottom of the pass. The 5th and final hairpin is reached at the 3.9 kilometer mark and is the easiest of the 5 in terms of turning circle and is more of a horseshoe bend than a hairpin. With the terrain having substantially leveled off, the last 700 meters of the pass is relatively easy. The vegetation becomes denser as more green trees appear amongst the thousands of aloes. A signboard is passed at the 4.4 kilometer point as the road loses the last bit of altitude via an easy ascend. It then plunges into thicker bush, and suddenly, after clearing a small dip, the stone entrance gates of the rest camp at Die Hel appear directly ahead. It's highly recommended to overnight at Die Hel and rest in the tranquility and heavenly beauty of this inaptly named spot. Continue for a further 6 kilometers to reach Fonteinplaats.